We have Pear Deck, the extension, loaded in Google Slides. Now we can start using the basic features. So for instance, if I scroll down, we can have students do a free text response. You can set up a multiple choice question. You can do a number response, and if you want to, you can build it so they actually load a website within the presentation itself. Okay, so we'll start off with the text response first. So imagine I'm doing a lesson on assessment. So the first thing I can do is some form of pretest and hit text on the first slide. Okay, so the text response preview will be like this on the student's device. So it'll ask for input, and then on the projector it will actually show all the individual responses. Those will be anonymous. Okay, so if I hit update slide. All right, so the question that I would ask here, just verbally, if I was presenting this in person, would be, what two types of assessment do you know? And then hopefully you get a response that is both formative and summative assessment. But we'll see how that plays when I do the student preview on it afterwards. So you see what the inputs will look like. So then if I start teaching about formative assessment, so the goal of formative assessment is to monitor student learning, to provide ongoing feedback that can be used by instructors to improve their teaching and by students to improve their learning. More specifically, formative assessments help students identify strengths and weaknesses and target areas that need work, and help faculty recognize where students are struggling and address problems immediately. So if I wanted to build in a choice on this one, so my verbal question would be, again, if I'm teaching live, is what purpose does formative assessment serve? So to identify if what was taught was learned by students. And if I just want those two, then I can update the slide. Okay. So again, it's in the dashboard, and down here is the preview of what the responses, the selection responses will be for students. So let's say I skirt my way through here and we go, formative assessments are usually low stakes, which means that they have no low or no point value. Examples of formative assessment include asking students to draw a concept map in class to represent their understanding of a topic, submit one or two identifying the sentences, identifying the main point of a lecture, or turn in a research proposal for early feedback. So if I wanted to select a number value here, a numeric response, okay, so again, the verbal response would be, so how many points should be on a formal assessment? Or how many points should a formal assessment be out of? Hopefully the students say 0 or maybe 1. So then we go on to the goal of summative assessment is to evaluate student learning at the end of an instructional unit by comparing it to some other standard or benchmark. At this point, I could insert some form of website that shows different types of formative assessments. So the student views and interacts with a website embedded on their device, and then the projector version, it shows students browsing instructions for the website embedded in their device. So if I wanted to, I can put something in here like the Carnegie Foundation's stuff on assessment. Okay, so there's the URL right there, right? So then I can browse the site with the students and we can talk about items that are on the site. Okay, so then I finish up. So let's say I now want to go to the preview version of this. So what this is going to look like for the students. All right, so if I hit start lesson, it gives me the option of student paced. So that means the students can do it at their own pace, asynchronously. I don't need all the students doing it at the same time. Since I've already established that I'm talking my way through this one and I'm asking them the prompts verbally, I'm going to do the instructor paced activity, okay? Okay, so then I would join this. Okay, so it's waiting for students. So if I go over to another tab and I go to joinpd.com, and then BGA CYL. So then we'll do the feeling thing. So very happy. Okay, so as you see, on the teacher side of things, I'd be over here. I'd start the class because now I have my students active. And then I would go through the presenting aspect like I just said. So what forms of assessment do you know? So this is the student side of it, okay, that you're seeing here on this tab, okay? So if I wanted to, and I know I have all the responses, I've got 1 out of 1 response here, I can hit show responses and we can go through the responses, okay? Now, if I continue on my side of things, go to formative assessment, it has advanced for the students, and then again I ask the question, so what is the purpose of formative assessment? And then I choose between the two. And then I wait for the instructor to move forward. Okay, so again, I can show the responses if I want to share out and check whether that's the case, whether I've got everybody on the same page in terms of their learning or not. So then, again, on the instructor side of things, I would ask, so how many points should be, how many points should a formative assessment be out of? Here it says low or no, right? On the student side of things, I can put 0 there. I can use a gradient if I want to go up or down. On the teacher side of things, I can show the responses. So that shows it in a like a bar format, like a graphing format, but I can go to individual responses as well to flesh that out, okay? In my pattern, I should have them all over here rather than over here, right? So then, again, the hide responses, and we can move forward in the slides. So then I talk about the goal of summative assessment is to evaluate student learning, right? And then there's the website So on my side of things, it looks like that. On the student side of things, it apparently refused to connect, so they have to open up another tab, and it's there. So that did not function as well as expected, but there is a workaround, right? If it refuses through some kind of security issue, that it doesn't allow you to do that.